Disabled Sports USA was started by 10th Mountain Division troopers, ski troops from World War II, who experimented with ways to continue skiing despite the loss of limbs, and they incorporated the organization in 1967, Jim Winters being the leader of that movement. And at the time, it was called National Amputee Skiers Association, because that's what it did. It was amputees skiing.
Well, there was about 5 of us that started the Tahoe Handicap Ski School, and around 1984, I think we did that in the late 70s, and then around in 1984, I got a phone call from Doug Pringle, and he said, hey, there's this thing that just came out called the monoski, and I think it's gonna blow up the business. We didn't have a sit ski or a monoski or a bi-ski. You either skied standing up or you didn't ski.
My very first monoski was a German manufactured thing called a GFL. And it was basically a fiberglass torpedo on a car leaf spring that had a snow ski attached to it that we hurled ourselves down the hill with.
And we realized early on that we were going to have to really train our volunteers so that they could offer safe and effective instruction.
We created adaptive ski instructor training and certification. There wasn't any way for a person to be certified to teach people with disabilities. PSIA had no interest in it. And we created it and did it on our own, and then got PSIA to come and look at it and say, wow, you guys are actually doing it. And they accepted it, and we integrated it into PSIA and gave it away.
But we really had a head start in that respect because the founder of this organization, Jim Winters, was also a certified ski instructor. And so he immediately said, we're going to follow, our first sport was skiing, and we're going to follow that. All the techniques that the skiers use, we're going to use, the instructors, and we're just going to adapt from there. And you guys are all going to become certified. And we use skiing as a model, if you will, both to develop that sport when we got some funding, but also to develop the sports of kayaking and cycling and water skiing and what have you. We would go to the standard teaching techniques of the national governing bodies of those sports, and then we would adapt from there so that everyone could understand exactly what we were doing.
I remember sitting in a car in the 80s with Kirk, and I said, Kirk, are we crazy? Why are we doing this? And he said, we have to. We don't have any choice.
We just wanted to be able to share that power, that thrill with others who were going through that same challenge of disability, and we couldn't let it go. We couldn't drop it. We couldn't quit.
We knew the power of this organization and the power of sports in changing people's lives, and we couldn't quit and we couldn't give up. And there were many, many rough times.
Personally, it is the most tremendous feeling in the world to see an organization that has done so much good last 50 years and actually grow and thrive over this last half century. I've been involved with it 47 of those 50 years, and I can tell you that it's the greatest satisfaction in the world, the greatest joy in the world to see how they've progressed and how they've changed lives through sports over the years.
I don't think anybody ever envisioned that there would be over 100 chapters around the country that would be doing year-round sports, that there would be people with other types of disabilities involved.
So many people can look back and say that aha moment that changed my life, and many of them are directed to this program.
We have touched hundreds of thousands of people's lives through our chapters, through the leadership that's been developed out there. So I don't think we ever envisioned what it would be like in 50 years or what we would accomplish. It's kind of amazing, really. 50 years later, I'm still here, the organization is still here, and it's still innovating and creating. Achieve Tahoe is really important to the development of this organization, or has been, because we were sort of the visionaries. Kirk Bauer came from our chapter. We were the visionaries who went out in this country and said to other people, look, you can do this. We're going to show you how. We'll come in town, we'll sleep on your floor if we have to, and we'll show you what we're doing and how you can do it.
I really believe that we led the industry in our professionalism of our instructors. We were Our people were amongst the first to initiate exams for instructors so that we were professionals in the ski industry.
When I think of Achieve Tahoe, it smiles. It's good people. It's a program with a heart. And it's the people that make the program.
One of the first things that I did when I was director is we had to form a team that was going to go out and teach all around the country. We wanted to make sure it was some of the best trained instructors in the country. And that's where we turned to Achieve Tahoe, because of Jim and later Doug Pringle and Bill Boness and Catherine Hayes Rodriguez and some of the other pioneers, Peter Axelson, all of these pioneers, Bob Guerrero, they really focused on training instructors. And so I knew that if we were going to really offer a strong program, we were going to have to rely upon these early pioneers to make that happen. And they formed that Achieve Tahoe formed the core of that instruction program that went all around the country. So my hat's off to them for their vision in focusing on training instructors so they can offer safe and effective programs. Throughout our 50 years of progress and success, one of the major underpinnings for that success has been our support from the public, from foundations, from corporations, and from the government. And nothing epitomizes that support better than Anthem, which has become a national sponsor of our youth and our warfighter sports programs. We couldn't have done it without them. But the one thing that will remain constant, that we will constantly remind and stick to, is that these will be programs where the person with a disability is doing the sport. They are not a passenger. They are not along for a ride. They are actually doing the sport of cycling and skiing and scuba diving and sailing, and they are in control of their life, they are in control of their body, and they are in control of their destiny. And that is the one constant that you'll see from Disabled Sports USA. They're doing it, we're just providing the playing field. The train's left the station, and it's going full steam ahead, and I don't care who's in charge, it's going to happen. And that is the most gratifying feeling in the world, because you know that it's going, and it's going to stay going.